Right. So, let's get started. Now, what were we doing? I believe we had just taken out some biter nests, and we were still in the process of expanding our new factory. So, let's sit here while apparently a whole bunch of stuff gets delivered. There we go. All these drones are showing up. It sure is nice getting stuff given to me for free. Alright, so that is probably just about good. Technically we're a little short on some stuff, but not to the point that it's a concern. Alright, so now we head up here. And we have a train filled with copper plates. And it is currently not receiving any ore. Oh, never mind. I think that was the train right there. Although apparently it has to take a massive detour. That's probably fine though. So all that stuff gets dropped off. And then this can keep going. So this should be enough ore to just get this solid just permanently, basically. So that's cool. Then the next step is to do something with the ore. So we have all of these plates here. The next component we would need to make out of the plates would be copper cable. So let's do some of that. So if we just head over here, this is a two-way rail setup, right? And alright, that train just answered the question. I wanted to know which way it goes. So let's get some signals in, and then we have to take a loop off of this, and it has to be long enough to be like a worthwhile thing. But it can't be so long that it doesn't fit in. So I guess if we just start from back there and then come across like that, then that probably lines up. Alright. Now, what are you doing? Are you fixed if I just move you back slightly? No, cannot divide segments. What does that mean? What if I do that? Now does everything work? Yes, now it looks like everything works. Alright, so we have that. Now we can take the train off of this loop to make our train stop. Let's craft up a couple of those and get started with this. Alright, so that train stop goes in. And now we just have to get some unloading like that. And I should just blueprint this. So let's build let's build this manually this one last time and then copy paste it into a blueprint so that we don't have to do this forever. So we have that. And then they need to go in like that. And in like that. And then they need to meet up like that. And then we blueprint this as train unloader. So then we make that blueprint, and then we need to put it into there. Also that as well. Alright, so now we have this. Oh, I forgot to put the power in. So that's fine. We'll just have to do that. Alright, so that is now hooked up to power. And still stuff being attacked, but it's still probably fine. So, now we just have to place down... Actually, do I have a blueprint for this? Assembler row, I do. Alright, so this can just go somewhere. This doesn't seem like the most efficient way of doing this, but that's fine. Also, there's the random turret in the way. So let's get that fixed. And then let's make sure to bring drone over here so that all this stuff can get built more quickly, hopefully. And while that is going, we need to connect this up to it. So that gets to go like that. And like that. And like that. Then all those get connected up. And there we go. So now we just have to wait for all this stuff to get built. And make sure to hook the power lines up. Alright. Just waiting on drones to make the lengthy journey. And then in the meantime, what I should do is I should call this copper plate input, and then go down to this train and set it up properly. So add station, copper plate input, wait until empty cargo. I might need to swap how I do that in the future to make sure that they distribute stuff amongst all of them instead of just sitting there idly at one. But for now, that's probably fine. So let's get... Sure, weapons shooting speed. That'll be fun. Alright, so now this is getting all the copper. Then I can put this in. Also, I just realized I've messed up that I think these output ones are not meant to be hooked up to the copper plates at all. So it's supposed to be something like that. And if I stand here and take all the copper plates out, yes, these belts are meant to be storing what? What is that? Oh, they're gonna come pick up all the copper plates that I'm doing here. That's funny and also quite convenient. So that can all go. And then we do the same thing. Wait, no, that one is the one that actually does want copper plates on it. And then we grab them all off of that belt. And then we wait for our inventory to get sorted out again. Which is remarkably quick. Although we are at some point going to have to deal with all of the excess stuff here that is just getting put into boxes and then nothing is being done with it. Alright, so that is that. Just going to wait here while the resupply happens and then figure out how to get this whole thing onto the train on another side. Alright, so the resupply is probably just about done. And yeah, we're just short just a couple of things. Alright, so that is that. So now we have our copper wire. We need to merge it up and get rid of this one last copper plate. So now we have that. And then we just need to... What are all these guys doing now? Picking up more stuff out of my inventory? I didn't even realize I had more stuff to pick up. I have 2 whole stacks of copper plates still, I guess. Alright, that's fine. So then we need to get a train track over to here for this to output onto, which is not immediately obvious. I really need to figure out a better system for all of this. Let's see here. How do I do that? So, what we need is, I guess, just another loop off of this. So this goes up here and across there. And no, not some weird curve thing. We just need to get rid of that turret. And then we'll go a bit further across. And then down. And then we get rid of that tree. And then this loop has to go around and meet back up there. The electrical pole is in the way. So we just have to move the electrical pole a little bit. And that can connect across. And now this whole thing is going to need some of those. Actually, I wonder if I can make that a two-way rail, then we can definitely improve stuff there. So that would have to go around at least up to there. And that's probably fine. I think trains can go right next to each other like this. At least I really hope so. So we need to get that to line up with that. And then I guess that curve happens like that. And now this is going to have to meet up with some other rails somewhere. How on earth does this work? Why is this one-way rail here with no bypass? Alright, well, what if I just put something like that in? And we're gonna have to move the fuel a little bit. And then you're gonna have to come down like that. Apparently that fuel is still in the way back there. Alright, so that is in now. And it is going to need its own separate signals. And we're going to need to replace this fuel line. So we have to go something like that. And let's see here. Is this going to fit? No, there's only one space in there, which means we need to go over a little bit. So if we just go like that, then we have plenty of space to go under both tracks. And then this can loop back around over this way and into that. Alright. Problem solved. So, now, how does that work with the signals? That's definitely wrong, isn't it? So all of these trains, the trains go down this way, which means that this definitely can't do that. So I think what we have to do is that this has to connect into the internal belt of this whole loop here, instead of just going right into there. I think this has to go something like this, but I just can't quite get it to line up. So let's see if it's easier to get that alignment from this way. If we do that, and then that. Alright, now I think that works. And let's just pop a signal there. And hopefully that's fine. Although actually, no, it's not. Because this is still going the wrong way. So you need to do your own separate thing, and that barely doesn't line up, right? This intersection is an absolute nightmare. Like, what on earth is going on here? And why does there always have to be a signal at exactly the spot? Shift you over slightly. Then you come down. And we get rid of the tree and place you in. Alright, so now we just need to make that connection across. And now we have this train line goes this way. Hang on, is that right? Did I just connect the wrong one in? Yeah, I think I just connected the wrong one in. Dang it. Trains, why are you like this? Because this is supposed to be going down that way. Meanwhile, this... So this is supposed to connect into that one, is the other line that isn't. So we have to take all this out again. And rebuild it. Like that. Also, I seem to have snipped that off by accident. Alright, so now this side goes into there. And this side is the one that has to go across. And apparently being too close for signals is going to be a problem here. So that goes out. This crosses over. And goes down there somewhere. Alright. That connects up. That connects across. And now we need some signals for all of this stuff. Because absolutely what on earth is going on here? I think that needs a signal too. Yeah, the trains are doing stuff. Oh, I also disconnected this power line at some point. So you can get back in. That's good. Now we go up here and we put in... Actually, I made a blueprint for this just now, didn't I? Although it's going to be backwards, but that's fine. And we're going to have to also mess around a little bit with the exact placement of the belts. But that goes somewhere like that. Then this... Oh, I see. So these need to be far enough apart for train stations and stuff to go on the other side as well. So that comes out. This sweeps around like that. And that all connects in. And that finally goes across. Now we get this, which station goes there. And this is going to be copper wire output. Alright, so now we just power those up and bring the belt of wire along to them. So let's take all those belts out since they're facing the wrong way. And then we just drag this along. And we rotate all of these so that they can fill up a train once there is a train, which I guess we can put in now. Alright, train, 2 cargo wagons, get crafting. And may as well dump off some random junk that we don't need. Just fill a couple in, just clear out a couple inventory spaces, should be fine. Now we get to place this train in, and 2 cars. So you get to go to copper wire output until full cargo. And as for fuel, you get some of that. You get to add the refuel interrupt as well and set you to automatic. Alright, that is another train station done-ish. But what I need to do is I need to set up just like a blueprint for this sort of situation so I don't have to figure out from scratch every time. Let's keep researches going. And Tie Guy, hello. Yes, the trains are very small at the moment. I should probably be making them bigger, but they don't really have to transport all that much stuff, so it's probably fine. Alright. So yeah, what we need to do is we need to set up just like... How's the base going? It's coming along pretty slowly, but because I'm trying to figure stuff out so much. But we do have copper wire production, so that's cool. First playthrough, but a bit further. Yeah, I'm not terribly, like, early. I have all these drones set up, which is very convenient. But we're sort of slowed to a crawl as I'm trying to figure out how to make these trains work. Have not made actual forward progress much, aside from just researching things that seem neat. Alright, so what we need to step over here and try to figure out how to make like a blueprint. So let's get this stone out of the way here. You did your first base trainless? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to use trains right now, and I'm sort of getting some success, but it's sort of slow and awkward so far. Just because I don't really know what I'm doing. Alright. Keep researching stuff. And then what we need is... we need a nice big space with some train tracks on it. And I think I want to make like this a square of some kind, just for convenience sake. So that can curve around like that. This is not the best way of doing this, but there's like probably a better way of doing this, but I don't know what it is, and I have plenty of grenades, so that big rock seems very resistant to grenades. So we're just gonna keep throwing the grenades. Gosh, it actually takes a billion. Alright, that was 50 grenades to get rid of that pile of rocks, which is sort of crazy. Alright, so then we have to do something like that. I need to make this curve like somewhat not ridiculous. Like, I want it to look sort of smooth. I guess that's probably a perfectly good curve. It's not great, but it's probably acceptable. We finished speed module. Cool, let's get discharge defense. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but may as well have it. May as well be using our research on stuff. Alright, so that can all go out. And this can expand along that way. And then probably even further to make this roughly square shaped. I don't want it to be too big though. Like, I don't have completely infinite space, so let's just curve up here. That'll be fine. And that goes up. We've got up to purple tech. Yeah, I haven't started making purple tech yet. And I also just haven't ever quite gotten around to doing the tutorials. We've been figuring things out as we go. Alright, how did this curve line up? Like that. Alright, and then we just have to bring this up to around where the other one goes. And then that one also. And then we make the curve. There's another big rock. Can I just mine you to get rid of you? Yeah, that's much easier than throwing grenades. Have you had to fight much? I've done a fair amount just clearing out biters' nests and the like. I've mostly done it just by placing turrets directly next to them and having the turrets shoot them, which has worked out quite well for me. Alright, so that goes across like that. Then we need the other side of the two-way rail there. Okay, we finished discharge defense. Let's get... I don't even know what these robot, like combat robot things are even for. Personal robo report. Yep, got that. And I've been just placing turrets next to them and seeing what happens. Alright, so then we just need this to come down a little bit more. Alright, so that is in. And let's get some more drone coverage over here. I don't know. That seems reasonable. Just get drones over here so that we can get more stuff powered up. Shift click if there's a rock and the bots mine it for you. Oh, that's handy. I didn't know that. So we're basically out of rails in our inventory, so we're going to have to wait for that to happen. But in the meantime, we can figure out how to do this. Actually, we need rails for it. So I guess if we just if that. So what I need is like a little internal thing where it steps off of the main track. Just a little bit like that, and now I'm fully out of railway. It says on the way 0. Is this not connected properly? What's going on there? Oh, wait, that lost power at some point. I don't know if it's exactly necessary, but we'll power that on just in case it's doing something important. So where are all of my robots? Why am I not receiving any resupplies? Alright, so if we just go stand here, then this one is definitely within the network. There definitely should be a whole bunch of robots coming to give me stuff. Maybe I'm just on the edge. Yeah, I have sort of a mix between solar and oil production at the moment. Just sort of nice to have both, you know? Alright. I'm standing right next to the railway provider chest. And I guess they're starting to show up. Yeah, it looks like the drones are probably just super far away, mostly. So I'm going to manually grab a stack or two of rails. Just because I'm here. Then I'll let the drones do the rest. Look at that giant wave. These things look so ridiculous. Alright. Drones seem to be very busy delivering stuff. Alright, there comes some more. And we're just gonna have to wait here for a bit because we were running low on a lot of things. I don't know where I keep using all of this steel, but I keep getting it resupplied, so it must be somewhere. Probably in the trains. Yeah, we use a lot of steel for trains. That makes sense. Alright, so this should be all clear soon. And then we can head back out to continue working. Alright, we finished that technology. And let's get explosive rocketry. That sounds fun. Also, I need to do uranium at some point. Alright, so let's head back up. Uranium will be later. Up we go. Back to that giant square we were working on. Alright, so we go over here. And just a little bit past. Alright, so now we have this. And this needs to just go up like that. And then I think we want to have one of those on each of the edges. So apparently that is too far. So we go like that. Does that even line up? I'm not even sure if that lined up properly. So let's try going just one further back just to make sure. And that can line up there. And then we do the same thing here, so that goes out a little and across. And then it curves back in, but apparently that is also too close. So we go like that. Now there's that weird stop there, so that's fine. And then we just need one more. So you come out, go across a little bit, and then line back up. Alright, did that connect in? Please work properly. Alright, no, that doesn't quite line up. So you need to start curving down a bit ahead of time. Are these even going to be big enough to be what we want? Start another research and just, I guess, enqueue another couple things. Are these even going to be big enough? Barely for the miniature things that I have. The sideways ones should be better. And also this one might just be unusually short. So I'm still not convinced that these are connecting up properly though. So that has to go like that. Yeah, I think this is still not connecting properly, which is a huge nuisance. So this would be like the earliest we can make that curve. And then I guess we can do the same on this side. And like that. And that definitely works. And I guess that's fine. So these can all go in. And now the question is, how does this connect in with other things? So we can build like a whole factory in here and use these as the stations that deliver the inputs and the outputs. But we need to figure out like how these tile basically. So like if this goes clockwise and this goes counterclockwise, then this is going up here but down there, which means we can't just put them in side by side. That would not work. So we would need some sort of thing. You're going modular? That's the plan. It would be very convenient to be able to do that, just so I wouldn't have to worry as much about where exactly the resources are coming and going. But obviously still working out exactly how that functions. Also, I think this top one doesn't go far enough out. because we need some space between the tracks for like signals and stuff. So it needs to go out like that, which makes that also a lot shorter, but hopefully fine. Alright, so if we want these to tile, then we would need these outer corners to all be going the same way. But I don't know how that would work. City planning, I wouldn't call it planning so much as like sort of throwing things together and seeing if they work. It would be great if it worked out though. So what we need to do is, yeah, bus designs are fine. Personally, I find them kind of annoying just because like the bigger they get, the more lanes you have to go across, and it's just sort of a massive pain. Hopefully this will be easier. If I can just figure out how to get them to tile together properly, then that would be ideal. So what I need to do for that is, if this is going up and this is going down, I need some way of connecting the two. And I'm trying to envision, like, if this... What did I do? So if that just curves around like that. So I don't know how to place... So if that curves around like that, then this would go down. Shift click to place out of reach. Yeah, I've been trying to do that, but then it does weird stuff with the trains. Like this, like when yeah, so I guess it works. It's just weird. Like, I don't know, it functions differently, I feel like, when you shift click. Alright, so we have that. We need some sort of way of getting this to loop. Okay, so how about this? If this is going up and we need it to be able to, for that to go down, then if we just, no, I feel like I'm almost on the brink of figuring something out, but not quite. Let's throw some grenades over at this forest to make some space to place some stuff, because the other side has the actual factory, which I can't just easily dismantle. So if we have this, and then this would curve down. Alright, am I going crazy? I'm hitting shift click and it... Oh, can I just mark for deconstruction? Yeah, I can do that. Alright, what are they doing? What are all those tiny little X's? Oh, they're picking up the coal. Alright, I didn't really want them to do that, but that's fine. So if this goes like this, so we just take that and continue it along, then this curves down into it. So if this outer side is going clockwise, then then they can obviously just do that, or they can come in from the next one over. So the horizontal rows would work for that. Then, if we have this one going... No, wait, that doesn't work, does it? So I could make like a horizontal row like this, and it would all be fine. Actually, I wonder if that just... Let's get rid of all of that. What am I thinking of here? I feel like I know how to do this, but it's just not coming to me. It's very frustrating. So this works for horizontally, because these are all going that way when we're going horizontal, but it won't work if we try to add another row down there, and it doesn't work for this. Alright, what if I just... Oh, I have to probably... Boss breakdown forest quickly? Yeah, that's good to know. I think I figured it out. I just forgot that I had this rail in here. So, if we take this rail down like that, and then this is going the opposite way, so we need... Hang on, let's dismantle all of that. Definitely holding shift click and it's not dismantling stuff. Like single rail lines that can handle things going both ways. I think I know how to do that, but I also really don't want to do that because I feel like that could potentially cause weird, complicated problems. So, if I have this, then... Alright, I just need to mark out, like, which way these are going, so I can see. So the internal one is going to be going clockwise, I guess, and the external one is going to be going counterclockwise. So we get those rail signals in so that we can just have that marked down. So if this is going clockwise, and we have another one next to it, so we have something like that, and then something like that, and this is like part of the next blueprint over that I'm just not fully placing. Oh, you can grow new trees in space age? That's fancy. The brilliant space age technology of planting new trees. Alright, let's put those in as well, just so that the stop signs aren't giving errors. So, this one is going clockwise, so down. This one is going counterclockwise, so up. This is the external version of the next one, so it is going down, right? Oh, is it that easy? So the outside one is going counterclockwise here, which means that on the other side, that's going down. Yeah, I actually think what I have here might actually just straight up... If we just overlay them, right? so that this rail is there and that rail is there. So let's take out all of these extra tracks and then probably just blueprint this as a train square and then see what happens when we place another one. Alright, well let's copy it first so we don't save a blueprint that doesn't work. So if we just copy that and then it's ever so slightly asymmetrical, that's annoying. But if we just do that, then I think it might just work. This is going to take forever on just my personal RoboPort. Let's get these guys coming on over. We're going to need drone support in this area in order to get anything done ever. So there we go. That's powered up. And then let's just get the drones in here as well. There's copy paste for symmetry. Yeah, I could do that, or I could just like fiddle with it so that it works properly when I have this entire thing. Alright. Some of these drones need to get these guys in. Alright, so we have this. I really just need to... I feel like my drone construction system is very slow, and I don't know why. Like there's just this massive delay between anything happening. Alright, so I can put that in. And then now this is all powered up. So theoretically it should be done. But if we just, yeah, now these signals are in the way of the tracks on the other side, so we're gonna have to fix that. So that obviously has to connect up. And I don't know how to get the drone coverage better. I guess we just have to do something like this. Idle gamer, you don't mind slow things? Yeah, I am the same way. It's a little bit different when you're live streaming though. Like I would normally not mind at all, but it is a little bit different. Alright, so let's get all of that stuff covered up. And apparently this last one didn't go quite far enough. So let's get that in. And is this whole thing like not connected up to the main grid or something? If I go to here, yeah, that's the problem. The main drone network is not up here. I thought it was, but apparently it isn't. Oh, these two are just like barely too far to connect across, so we just have to put that in. So hopefully, there we go. And we get power. And now the massive drone army comes over to build all of this stuff. So that should resolve the problem. Looks like we're going to have to dismantle most of the forest as well. Right. Goodbye, trees. It's funny, they only remove the trees that are necessary to remove to barely squeeze in the train tracks. Alright. Technology research is going along surprisingly well, honestly, considering I haven't looked at or thought about my science production in, like, ages. Alright, so let's get those in. We're going to need to set them up more properly later. These still are taking a long time. I should have plenty of construction drones. Oh, did I never make more construction drones? If you have 0 or something, but I think you can just go in here and set anything you want. Obviously, you're gonna have to craft it, but you can just go into there and set it that way. All right, I need to tell my drones, because I accidentally made like thousands of logistics drones, but only like 100 construction drones. So I need to run all the way across the entire factory to go tell them to start making more construction drones. It's always the thing on the exact opposite side of the factory which needs to be changed, just like ever so slightly. So let's run over there and fix it. Yep. These sorts of games, there's always like very obvious things which are very easy to miss. Alright, so we run over here, and down in this general vicinity should be the drone production, which I think I turned off entirely at some point. Are you making logistics drones or construction drones? You're the one that makes construction drones. So there, you get to go back on, and we get more of those. So hopefully that should help a lot. Yeah, definitely. That's just how these games works. There's just so much stuff to know that it's very, very difficult to learn everything. Like, especially if you're just casually playing on your own and not like studying, like watching streamers and stuff, like tutorials and all of that. It's very, very, very easy to just simply not notice something. Alright, now we run back up here. And past that absolute nightmare of an intersection. We just don't talk about that. And now we're back here. And it looks like this is properly getting constructed now with the full force of the drone system. And it's good to see. So now we can just confirm that this works. So yeah, the bots moving around just doing stuff is very satisfying. So if this this one is going clockwise, right? So the rail, or no, this one's going clockwise. So it goes around like that and is no problem. Or it could be this one going counterclockwise around like that with no problem. So if we just stack these next to each other, making sure to overlap them like this, we can just have as many of these little boxes as we want, which is pretty handy. So now the only thing is to just do some tweaks, make sure it's all symmetrical, and then I guess just save that as a blueprint. And yeah, there's all sorts of tweaks that need to be done before this is a proper blueprint. So we need to put all the signals in, because that's going to be a pain to do otherwise. right there and there. And there and there. Alright, so these all get signals where they branch off from the main lines. How to make slow belts space out inputs. Yeah, interesting. How do you... Is it just with splitters and stuff? How do you do that? It could be handy for some things, I guess. I mean, I'm a big fan of load balancing in Satisfactory, so... Alright, so we have this. I think I might want to make it ever so slightly larger, just so that the internal... just so that this can handle our trains better. But we'll have to see. Alright, so then we need wires from one belt to the next 3 belts, so it only moves when they're empty. Okay. Let's get rid of some more of these trees. Although we're probably going to dismantle some of the train tracks with our clicking while we're at it. Alright, so those trees, I think in this situation it's probably easier to just grenade the trees and then repair them afterward, repair the train tracks afterwards. Because the train tracks will survive a grenade or two and the trees won't. Alright, so that is that. Where are all of my drones doing? Normally they're right on it in terms of just like immediately repairing this stuff. Are all of my construction bots... Why do I only have 5 construction bots in my inventory right now? What happened to all the rest of my construction bots in my personal Roboport? That's mysterious and somewhat concerning. Are they constructing something? I don't see what they could be constructing. That's probably fine. Alright, so let's go back down to making these even. So this side is good. This side is not. So this needs to go up a little bit more. And I guess the easiest way of making sure they line up would just be making sure they split off at the same point. So like that one splits off up there. So this one doesn't split off until down there. Alright, does that still is definitely not lined up. I did it wrong again. Alright, so that... If I go even one higher like that? Is that right? No, it still definitely is just not being symmetrical for some reason. What did I do over here? What did I do over here that I'm missing? Alright, I have no idea what's going on with this. It's so close to being symmetrical, and yet it isn't. Oh, I think there probably is. That's a good idea. Let's see here. If I copy that Okay. No, because they're rail signals, but if I take the rail signals out, then I copy this. Alright, so that isn't what I want. Because that's just rotating it. What on earth? Alright, so H flips horizontally. I think I may have also flipped it in a different way, though. Alright, but that is... Wait, are they just symmetrical? And they just... Alright, when did they become symmetrical? When did I do that? Yeah, H flips them horizontally. And I think you might be able to flip vertically too. Why do these not look symmetrical despite the fact that they definitely are? Is it just because of like the texture of the grass that's messing with me? I think it might just be the texture of the grass that's messing with me. Alright, that's fine. Alright. So, I think... Unfortunately, what I want to do is... Because if we head down here, these... These aren't quite big enough. So I think I need to make this whole thing, but like... a tiny bit bigger. Just like... barely big enough so that it'll fit properly. So let's... I guess we're just gonna have to... I want to have this present as like a blueprint almost. Oh wait. Forest be gone. Is this whole thing... Apparently it is within the range of the drones. The drone ports have like 2 ranges on them, and I don't know what the difference is. Alright, so that forest goes out. Then what we need is... Okay, let's just make... Let's start with making the train stops first, so that we know they're long enough. So we get a train stop, which can go like there, and then it has to go back at least 2. We get to see how good nuclear plants are. Yeah, I need to get around to working on nuclear once I have this all set up. So do we want even 3 long or 4 long trains? I think because one engine can... I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that one engine can handle 4 total trains. So we might just go with that just as the maximum, just for the maximum length. So then that would come out to here. And then I need some sort of marker of where the end of the train is. So that is the last bit on the end of the train. And then after that, it can curve in like that. Wait, am I doing that backwards? I think I'm doing that backwards. So this is the internal bit. So it has to be sticking up ever so slightly. So that has to go like that. Seems easy to upgrade the square to be larger. I mean, the problem is just getting them to align properly, right? I'm not sure how easy that would be if I already have these small ones. So if we just do that. Then that would be like one side. And then we would just need... Actually, let's just do one side and then copy, paste, and rotate it around a lot. So we get signals there and there. Then we run over here and get signals there and there. Oh, I already put a signal in there. Don't need that. Alright, so that is all in. Then we need the outside route, which is here. Oh, I've just realized something obvious, which I am currently missing, which is a way to go from the inside route to the outside route within the same thing. So if I'm up here and I want to get into there, then is that even possible at all? So I'd have to go... Yeah, no. Currently impossible. Good to know. Alright, but I could fix that just... So if I just have something like that, even, something simple, then this whole outside bit is on the same horizontal line, so that should be going the same way. And then that would let me get down here, which would let me get in there. So it would be a little bit extra work, but it would be fine. And then we could do the same thing for the horizontal and vertical bits, and it should be okay. Alright, so that is done, fortunately. Use fewer tracks in each square and make them path around stops using other squares. Maybe? The problem with that is I want there to definitely not be a gridlock. So if we were doing it that way, like certain portions of the squares just could temporarily be down, and if we had enough of those, it might be very, very difficult or impossible for something to get from one side to the other, just if things line up wrong. And I'd rather avoid that. Alright, so then we just have to get this curve in. And we need to get the curve to be somewhat sensible. So it needs to go out to there. And along there. Get rid of that little thing there. Alright, so if I just... Is there anything else on this that I might want? Probably rail signals, so that can go that way. And then there. Alright, so if I just copy this and I rotate it, and place that in there. Then I rotate it a couple more times. Oh, there's a cliff there. Of course there's a cliff there. Why wouldn't there be? So I never got around to crafting cliff explosives, did I? Where are those made? Coal, 2 types of plates, and explosives. Explosives are coal, sulfur, and water. Alright, let's take a quick detour, and this is how very little progress gets made. Is now I have to take a quick detour to cobble together some cliff explosives. And then by the time I get back, there'll probably be a major biter attack or something. Also, this is not connected across. Again, don't know what that is, if it's important or not, but it might be important. So let's just fix it. So we need coal, sulfur, and water all next to each other. Where is that? We have sulfur there. A little bit. Okay, I see a place with coal, sulfur, and water. If I can pathfind around all of these pipes to get there. So we have coal, sulfur, water all here. So I just need to squeeze a chemical plant in. And I guess we can just pop it. Actually, where's that made in? Is that a chemical plant? Yes, it is. I thought it might have been like a fluid assembler or something, but that's fine. Alright, so we go there. I have to get the water from this pipe, which just has to go across these belts, like that. And then down there. Get rid of that. Alright, so that's water attached. Recipe in. Long-handled inserter just lazily grabbed from there. It can. Brilliant. Keep the pipe paths underground mostly. Yeah, I should honestly probably be doing that. But it's just marginally more confusing to build, so I haven't gotten around to do it. Alright, so now we get the sulfur in, which can just go in there, I guess, because why not? Alright, so now we are making explosives. And then, in order to make cliff explosives, we need a barrel and a grenade. Okay, where on earth? Barrels are steel plates. Grenades are a whole complicated thing, aren't they? Coal and iron plates. Okay, so I just need steel plates and iron plates in addition to the stuff I have here. And there's got to be some place around here with steel and iron plates. Yes, down there. Alright, so let's just take this belt down here. And... Alright. Iron plates there, steel plates there. So we need an assembler. Oh, but now we don't have coal over here. Okay, that's annoying. So we're gonna have to, I guess, split that belt. And it can actually go on the other side of this. That's very efficient. Alright, then we take this. And these come over here. Alright, so now we get an assembler to make some grenades. And we can put those in and power it up. The joy of making incredibly horrific setups because you know it's only temporary. And then also being fully aware that these temporary setups are probably going to last like the rest of eternity. Alright, so we have grenades. so then we just need barrels, which are just steel plates, crafting. Alright, so that goes in. And you can craft some barrels. And then we output that. Alright, no, that's wrong, obviously. We need that. Actually, we can save a belt by doing this. And you output there. And then finally we get this in, which just does that and cliff explosives. Yeah, some amount of temporary belting is expected, especially like this is all temporary. I'm setting up a fancy, well thought out permanent factory up north. So this it's temporary, but I'm actively in the process of building the thing that'll replace it, so it is probably actually temporary. Alright, so then we get that out and stick it into a box. And cliff explosives done. So let's just say, give me like a stack of them at all times, and that should be good. Now what is all this? Can I get all that stone out of my inventory? And coal and wood, and I also don't need all those tier 1 belts. There's a whole lot of those wasting space, and that's gonna take a while to clear out. We've been upgrading the mining setups. Yeah, that's something that I just sort of have to go back and do every so often. Alright. I think should be everything. We are up to 7 cliff explosives. How little total you have available? Yeah, it's definitely a bit stressful in this game, like as opposed to Satisfactory, which I have played for a long time, where everything is infinite. It's like, we're gonna run out soon. Don't like the feeling of being almost completely out of resources. Alright, so now we can run up here, and apparently there's a biter's nest, like 5 feet from where we were going. Soon to begin some expeditions, and you need better weapons. Yeah, better weapons would be good. Apparently, yeah, so I've just looked at the mini-map, and I have apparently determined that there's a biter's nest right there. So let's prepare. We have laser turrets. We have medium electrical poles. So let's just bring power up and prepare to fight those biters before they become a problem by being literally like 10 feet away from where I am. Okay, yeah, no, that was expected. I should have just manually been building the power poles. Alright, surprise. Alright, let's pick up those turrets. Oh, I never picked up more construction drones. That's part of the problem. It's gonna make things more annoying. Yeah, grenades are pretty great. It would also be nice if I had the construction drones to build this power line, because this power line is very, very important for what I'm doing. Actually, can I just like stop by a random drone port and pick up some construction drones? Okay, there's one there. I don't need more logistics drones. I do need more construction drones. I don't know where exactly the construction drones are even stored. I need a good number of them in order to do, like, fast-acting repairs during combat. But I guess it's probably manageable without them. It's just going to be a whole lot harder. So we go up here. And, of course, they're all going to get distracted building train tracks. I wish I could, like, pause the construction of something. Not completely remove it, but just say wait a couple minutes. Alright, so our power line is coming up. And alright, it's those ones. That's annoying. So we get those. Alright. They seem more durable than last time, the turrets. Oh. Gotta make sure not to get stuck in the sludge. Yeah, these turrets are gonna be a bit of a problem, actually. Alright. Did take some damage there. And there go my few remaining construction drones, unfortunately. Alright, so let's place that up. Oh. How did that happen? I was completely fine like 2 seconds ago. You go from having taken 0 damage to instantly dying, like, very quickly in this game. I have to get around all this stuff. Now I have to get back up there. Also, I feel like dying did something different last time. I feel like last time I died, I just reloaded. This time I don't think I saw the option. Alright, so we're gonna have to get back up there. Also, apparently I dropped all of my items, which is a problem. So they're just gonna be chewing through those laser turrets pretty quickly, I think. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how. I guess I must have been sitting in a pool of acid and didn't notice. Alright, so we have this. Can I just... Okay. Okay, yeah, no, that's not happening. Can we just load an autosave from before the death so I have my items? Alright, we have lost 7 minutes of work. That's fine. So we just need to not suck. Yeah, the bots are nice for restock. I think the plan is to just do the same thing as last time, except not do it badly. Because I must have just been standing still doing something dumb. Alright, so let's go up. And did I build the power line going up to there? Yeah, I might have to redo that. I think I might have to redo that. Alright, so let's go up here. And right, the complete lack of construction drones. Forgot about that. So we're gonna have to... Let's actually just head down to the drone production area and just grab some. So I could have sworn I had set up a thing that would deliver drones to me as they, like, so that I would always have like 50 of them, but it seems to have not happened. So let's run down and investigate what's going on with that. Did I just not put them in a provider chest, maybe? Alright, so we go down. You haven't even automated the small power poles? That is miserable. I don't know how you live like that. Like, it's one of the basic things that you place everywhere. Alright, so construction bots are being made. Now I need to grab some of them into a passive provider chest. Oh, there's a cliff there. Was this saved before the cliff explosives? How is this? This save was like 7 minutes ago. I did not build those cliff explosives in 7 minutes. That's annoying. That's annoying, but whatever. So this is apparently just all filled with construction bots. So let's just grab some. And make that a passive provider chest. And can we get... How's the junk storage doing? It's doing perfectly fine. Alright, so now we head up here. And now with a whole bunch of construction bots, we should be doing a lot better. And we just need to not sit there standing in the enemy attack range like an idiot. We need to be more careful. Alright, so let's head up. Third time is the charm. We're gonna get through them this time. Alright, so this is our power line. And now we have enough drones to be able to do all of this pretty quickly. And build the train tracks while we're at it, because why not? Hello? Get these. Why are you just sitting there and not... None of you are filling in these power lines. Guess I'll do it myself. Power lines in. Alright, so then this can be sort of our defensive backstop. And we're going to even bother put some walls in. And then there are all those guys up there. Okay, wait, I just had an idea that might make this easier. So, if I have this, and I just fully wall it in, then I may as well just blueprint this. Let's just get... Actually, having double walls is probably ambitious. We want this to build as quickly as possible, which means probably single walls will be better. Because having 2 rows of walls won't really add to the protection that much against the ranged enemies, but will cause the building to take longer. And then let's also just squeeze a couple more of those in. Alright, so if we just blueprint this and call it turret box, then I mean, we're still going to have to drag the power out there manually. So we go there, and alright. Place that in. Someone put the power pole in, you idiots. Why did no one put the power pole in? Just leaving them all defenseless. Alright, it's fine though. We got there in the end. And now we just have to apparently lose dozens of constructor bots trying to repair under fire. Alright, so now let's build another one slightly forwards. And I don't know what's going on with the power. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that the power pole is just too fragile and it's getting blown up by the bad guys repeatedly. Alright. Either way, we got through pretty conveniently there. And we just lost... Yes, we lost 3 power poles doing that, so they were just kept getting destroyed and rebuilt. I wonder if there's... Actually, I wonder if you can, like, if any of these are more durable. Let's actually test that out. So let's get... I don't normally use big electrical poles or substations. But if we just get you... And the substation can actually be behind the box, which might be handy. So if we just get like one of each type of power pole, and we just, this is for science, chuck a couple grenades. The bigger ones definitely have more health, but they also all seem to take about the same amount of time to repair as well. So I think for the turret boxes, the substation will be best for the future. So let's pick all of those up and redo this. Also, apparently that autosave was before I cleared all this junk out of my inventory. Yeah, the big ones also have more range. That's a good thought as well, actually. I don't know why I keep crafting new substations instead of placing. So the substation range from pole to pole is pretty good. So we can just do something like that. And then the big ones are going to probably be even better. Need more of these. The fact that I might want to use these for an actual thing might mean that I need to actually automate them, which I haven't been doing because I never use them. So that would be a bit of a shame to have to automate something new. Alright, regardless of that, we've cleared out the biter's nest. And now let's request a stack of those, and apparently, yeah, it's very handy just placing turrets in the face of the nests. That's what I've been doing this entire time. I've never blueprinted it before. I've just been doing it manually. It works wonders, honestly. Now I must have been right in the middle of building the cliff explosives when the autosave that I loaded happened, because there's no way that I built the entire thing in such a short amount of time that the autosave was before it. Alright, so we have to run down, where was it? It was like around here-ish. Yeah, okay, so I was just like one building short. Alright, that makes sense. So we have this, which, oh yeah, we're doing output like that. So then we have grenades, we have barrels, we have explosives. So we can just put that in and bring it down there. And pull those in. Hotkey power poles and turrets is probably fastest. Yeah, probably. It might be... I don't know. I don't like things which rely on me being very precise and not messing up. Just because I can do stuff like that, but not consistently. Alright, so then we get that, and that. And let's make sure not to have more than a stack or two. And there we go. Ah, the drones. The drones are getting all that junk out of my inventory, as well as loading me up on all this stuff. We're just going to let them cook for a little bit. And probably fine to leave now. We really need to get those drones into logistics storage. How many construction drones did I lose there? I'm down to 21. That's probably enough. 21 construction drones is probably enough, especially if I just place drone hubs with me as I go. Just squeeze through that tiny little area and get up here. Alright, back to what I was doing before there was so inconveniently a biter's nest right there. So we are up here. We've been using rockets and vehicles. Yeah, I've tried to use vehicles a couple times, and it just really has not gone well for me. Like, I've been able to deal with the biters, but I haven't been able to, like... I've always had to be, like, kiting in order to do it, and I just couldn't ever quite get close to the base. Machine gun's pretty good, too. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually used the machine gun. Where's... Yeah, I don't think I've ever used that. I've just been using the default pistol. No DLC? Not at the moment. We're just playing through the basic game right now. We're probably going to get the DLC at some point. But for now, we're just getting through the basic game. Alright, so that doesn't need to exist. How many hours? I don't know, like... Let's actually check. Playtime, 25 hours at this point. Yeah, so I have 25 hours apparently in this save, and this is the only save that I have, so it's gonna be 25 hours. Alright, so now we just have to clear out all these trees. And repair the poor innocent train tracks which were harmed in the process. Now we can actually see this whole area. Alright, so that is cleared out. Can you give me a train blueprint? I'm trying to figure stuff out on my own. Like, tips and hints are appreciated, just giving stuff would sort of defeat the fun. Alright, so we have to grab that and send it across like that. Oh, I also am going to need landfill for this, apparently. Did I never made that, did I? Alright, let's turn back once more to get some landfill. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna be copying from people's blueprints. Just not gonna look at that. I want to figure stuff out myself. You know, just landfill Yeah, so the problem is that I want to be placing these nice convenient tiling squares, and landfill is good for that. Alright, where even is my stone at this point? Am I still using the starter patch of the stone? Yes, I'm still using this. Alright, so let's just get probably want 2 of these, just because probably going to need a lot of landfill. Alright, so we get 2 of those in, and you just make landfill. Could have copy-pasted that easier. Oh well. And then that goes across. And gets powered up. And into the logistics network. And make sure that I always have like a stack of it. So how much is this? Like 1.5 a second. So 2 of these are 3 a second. Can I just like put some speed modules in these just to get this cooking a little bit faster? We're gonna need probably a lot of it. A giant chessboard of train tracks ahead, maybe include some nature preserves. That would be funny. Yeah. Nature preserves. We'll dedicate one of the tracks for that. We'll designate at least one tile for a nature preserve. That sounds fun. For now, though, we just gotta get through all this. Alright. Save some trees for scenery. Will do. Alright, so we go up here. Right. We go up here, and we just got to place some landfill in that area. I only picked up 2 before I ran off. That's annoying. Alright, we're gonna have to bring this up here anyways, so it's not really a problem. Where is... Alright, so that just connects up there. And it gets powered on. And then, let's see, we need this whole thing to be within drone range, preferably. So if we put that in there, and then that can go up there. How is that not powered on? That looks like it should be. Oh, because this whole thing wasn't quite connected up. Let's put that back in. And now we just have to wait. How are we still going on researches? I set like 4 things in a queue ages ago, and I keep finishing. Alright. Laser shooting speed 4. Let's in-queue that. Energy weapons damage as well. We use lasers for most of our defense, so those are going to be important. And then apparently this isn't quite connected up. So that says 0. That has all of the bots. So we just need one thing like in there. And then this whole thing should be connected up to the drone network. And we should receive some landfill. On the way, 10. Alright, well, I guess that is gonna have to take a bit to happen. So we're just gonna have to stay within drone range. And also going to have to like figure out where exactly all of these have to go for drone coverage within each of these grids, because that is also something that I need to worry about. So let's get all of that set up. And surely one of those drones is going to place this. Apparently not. So I did it myself. Wait, electricity, is that low? Oh, okay, no, it's just that one drone port since I just placed it. That's fine. As far as electricity goes, we seem to be doing fine. Although weirdly... No, it seems like electricity is going fine. The accumulators are all full, which means probably nothing is going too horribly wrong. Where are all of my drones? You'd expect to see massive swarms of drones coming to give me stuff, but I don't. I need more landfill. It says 4 is on the way, which is weird because it said like 10 was on the way a minute ago. I haven't received any. Okay, there's some. Alright, we received 1. Okay, now it says 8 is on the way. I guess it is just taking a while. Oh, here comes what looks like a drone port. So we definitely are within drone range. It's just very slow. Isn't there like some science tree out there like that makes this better? Where... How do we maneuver through this whole thing? So production science I haven't done. There's like utility science somewhere, which I think had a whole lot to do with drones. Yeah, Roboport Mark IV, better logistics system. We should probably, and faster speeds as well. So what does it take to make yellow science? Processing unit, flying robot, flame, and low density structure. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so we're gonna have to probably take yet another detour. We've been almost done finishing this block for like 45 minutes at this point. But that's fine. The drones do seem to be making it here now. So let's... I don't think I ever automated these. Copper, steel, and plastic. So let's just throw together yellow science very quickly. I have flying robot frames, I have processing units. I don't have low density structures, but they're pretty simple. So let's run down and get those because these bots are just too annoyingly slow. Alright, so down here we should have... So we have... What do we need for this? Copper, steel, and plastic. So where's the copper? Because where's the plastic? Because the copper and the steel are up here. Did the plastic ever make it onto the bus? Looks like it did. That's handy. Alright, so let's just pop that in. And... okay, now we have to do this whole thing again. This is... Alright, so that goes in like that, which then lets this come up. And keep going up. Alright, so copper is there, steel is there, plastic is here. Just need to get this lined up so that we can use it all. Alright, so now the plastic is up here. And we just need to grab some of this copper. and bring it over. Please say that. No, that's not going to work. Alright, so we can do that. Oh wait, no, don't. Yeah, no, we definitely broke something there. Alright, so you have to go like that. And then this has to go down there. And can it go out that far? No. Go out that far. Which means I guess we move that over slightly. And then that can come out. And where's all the copper? Oh, we have a copper shortage. Wonderful. Just what we needed. Yet another thing to deal with. Why is there no copper? Okay, so obviously these are all empty. That's expected, but I thought I had a whole other source of copper down here, which is apparently just empty. Oh, these trains seem to be deadlocked. Let's head down here, see what's going on. Okay. So what's going on is that this is all one giant block. And this is all one giant block. Alright, so if we just do that, then that should be fine. Crisis averted. Copper supply should be reestablished, and hopefully one of those trains will go here at some point. Alright, back to what we were doing, and if that remains broken, we'll figure out eventually. Alright, so we had our stuff going on up here. So we have copper, we have plastic, and we have steel. So can I just fit all of this in sort of this general area? So if you go there, then you can pull from that, you can pull from that, you can pull from that, and then we make low density structures, power it all on, and then output it to over there. And I guess it's just extraordinarily slow. Okay. You get speed modules, I guess. It's still extraordinarily slow, but slightly less so. And then we need a lot of those to make one utility science. We also need processing units and flying robot frames. Processing units are right over here, so that's not a problem. Chain signals before intersections. I guess, yeah, I've never quite figured out what chain signals are for. I should do that at some point. In the meantime, let's focus on getting flying robot frames from all the way over here. Are these producing at all? It looks like they should be. Or no, we're missing green circuits because of that whole copper problem from earlier. But that's fine. We're just going to let's see. Actually, it should be fine to just pop this in here at the end after everything. Hopefully. Then this can loop back up and Then squeeze around this way. Don't go directly into the turret. Alright, actually I think we just go... I think we actually just go through the wall here, which isn't really needed anymore. This is in no sense like on the border of the factory anymore. We're just going to drag this along and then I guess just go up across those. Alright, so now we have that. And we have those. And we just have to go over here to grab the low density structures, which apparently we still haven't produced a single one. Worrying. Oh, because we don't have enough copper, probably. Yeah, we need a lot of copper for this. And I think the copper train still hasn't made it around to the old factory yet. So we're just going to set all this up. And it'll start working eventually. So now you go in. And you get that, and that, and that. And you get a power pole. And give me yellow science. Now I have to remember... Oh, the science is right down there. That's convenient. I could have sworn it was much further away, but that's fine. Got very lucky. Building this right next to our science labs. Wait, that's the wrong belt. That's the processing unit belt, which we do not want to go all the way over that way, because it's just going to waste a bunch of processing units. What we need is to output there, and then take this over, apparently through all of that, and then, let's see, if we go like here, and then down, then around that power pole, which is probably very important for something, and in. So, if by some miracle everything works, then that should be fine. Alright. Yeah, thank you. It's good to hear I'm not doing completely incompetently. Although this definitely feels awful. And the whole thing is still just waiting on copper, I think. So are the trains even bothering to stop here? Because I know I gave the other copper stop higher priority because it's for like the longer term factory, but I wonder if maybe I should just do the other way around. What if you get 70 priority? How about that? Then okay, that isn't supposed to be stopped there. I think we have more signaling problems. So up we go to investigate what's going on. I think our trains continue to be stuck. Alright, that's going... Okay, so this train is stopped here. Why? Okay, first of all, we should just put some more signals on that because it's ridiculous how long that line is with 0 signals. Alright, so let's just keep going up and put a couple more there. Alright, now we are right here. So you are red. Why? What even is this? Oh, is this just a gigantic mega signal of death? Alright, yeah, so I think it's because this one over here doesn't have a signal? Did that fix it? Oh, looks like it did. Alright, cool. There we go. And now the trains go in. And they do something very strange because this factory was definitely built when I didn't fully understand how trains worked. And also hadn't really thought things through. But now this is producing some copper plates. And then, yeah, this is what I was worried about. This is what I wanted to specifically not happen. Is I want one of these trains to, instead of just sitting here waiting behind this one, I want the other one to head down to the other copper output and put copper there. So how do I do that? Is there like a wait condition? Oh, if I can go empty cargo inventory. Alright. That may have done it somehow. Or it just coincidentally fixed itself in some other way, which is also definitely possible. Also, how is our landfill? We're up to 45 landfill. So that's nice. And the drones seem to be delivering a whole bunch of belts to me. So I'm just going to stand here and let them do that for a little bit. Yeah, this train thing is sort of just incomprehensible at this point. I don't know why the trains are doing what they're doing here. Oh, you can set specific stations. Alright, so how do we fix that so that copper input is full? Maybe? Wait, no. This is the one with the stupid names, right? So this is copper input, despite the fact that I should probably call it copper output. Alright, can we just fix that real quick? Because this is outputting copper from the local stuff into the thing. Yeah. We're definitely... Alright, let's call this one copper input, because this is how I've done the names for all the other ones. Train view control plus click for attempt train stop. Very useful. Interesting. Alright. So that is now labeled copper input. This needs to be labeled copper input. And then those trains are probably going to need to be fixed. So you... Okay. No, wait. Where's that train? So you need to go... Let's just take those stops out and put them back in. So you need to go to the copper input and wait until either empty cargo or station is full. I think this is how this works. You've seen tutorials. Alright. Then we go copper output until full cargo, I think. Alright, so your copper output until... But that has to be that, I think. So that is waiting for this train, which I can't see its inventory from a distance, unfortunately. But hopefully because I definitely did see some copper get supplied. Your base looks like at least a third run. Thanks. That's good to hear. I have played Satisfactory a fair amount, so I'm not completely new to like the concept of factory building games. It's a lot of like converting stuff that I know from other games over into this one, which is probably why things have been going better here than a complete novice. Alright, so let's get down here. Did we ever end up building any yellow science? No, I'm not seeing any. Is copper showing up at all? How do you reply to someone in chat? I think you just click on their name, or like there's like an arrow next to it. Like seeing a building from a distance, so radar's everywhere. That is definitely something that I should probably do at some point. I definitely have only placed like 2 radars total in this entire world. Could probably use some more. Alright, so green circuits are being produced again. That whole thing seems like it's mostly starting to work again. The question is whether any of the copper will make it past this massive wire demand to get to this. We need a lot of it too. We need a lot of these copper plates to get through there, which means we need a lot of the green circuits. Your ideal base removes work. Yeah, that would definitely be helpful. Bots are great. Minimal running around is great. Still working on getting to that point. We haven't even unlocked like the fancy yellow science bot upgrades yet, so we're still working. But that is the ideal future. The character doesn't have to do anything. All right. We should have enough landfill at least to probably do that thing we were doing. Nothing close to the robots in Satisfactory? Right, yeah. So there's dimensional storage, which fills the role of like of keeping your inventory filled without having to constantly resupply. But as far as like mass building and repairing and all that stuff, there's really nothing like the bots. I mean, you have blueprints, but they're very limited in Satisfactory. All right, so let's head up here, and we should be able to finish off this giant square. All right, up we go, and control click on any rail points as long as it's reachable by that train. That's fancy. All right, landfill. I don't know how much of this we need. All right, well that's what we have. So I hope that's good enough. So then we just have to... How would you convince me to play Satisfactory? So the thing with Satisfactory is it is a 3-dimensional game, which means there's like basically a whole lot of the stuff in Factorio plus additional stuff from 3-dimensional. It also has a fantastic like aesthetic building stuff. Like you can You can make things look very, very nice in that game. So if that's something you care about, then Satisfactory is very great. And another cool thing about Satisfactory is that it has the philosophy of that nothing should like interrupt or intrude on the player while they're working. So, for example, in Factorio, sometimes you're working on something and you just have to go do something else because there's a biter attack and you need to go fix stuff, or you just have to go do something else because the iron ore patch is dried up. And in Satisfactory, that never happens. Like the monsters don't mess with you, the resources don't run out, so you can just build away for hour after hour after hour and never have to worry about something going wrong in some other portion of the map, which I personally think is very fun. Satisfactory feels too cartoony. Yeah, I can see that. Personally, it doesn't feel that way to me. It just feels, I don't know, just sort of feels normal. It also does have like absolutely gorgeous, because another cool thing about Satisfactory is that the map is 100% manually crafted. Like a person actually sat down and placed every single part of the map, which means that like you don't have just like random generic procedurally generated stuff. You have all sorts of very cool landscapes and it can look quite beautiful. Why are you booing? Yeah, the thing with the procedurally generated stuff is that the Satisfactory map it's handcrafted, right? Like, it's very intentional and deliberate, and I think it gains a lot from that. So it does lose a bit of replayability, obviously, because it's the same map over and over again. But it's also very fun to, like, sit down for a new game and, like, see, like, oh, this is where I built this last time. Or, like, you'll be watching a streamer and they'll be building something in an area, and you're like, oh, I remember that area. I built stuff there. So it's obviously different. It's obviously different, but I don't think that one is better than the other. Yeah, messing with the world settings and changing the gameplay is also like a very cool thing that Factorio has that Satisfactory obviously doesn't. But I do think it's just like a difference of taste sort of thing. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, so I stream factory building games every weekday. I stream Satisfactory on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I stream Factorio on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5. So if you're interested in just watching some Satisfactory gameplay, then you can stop by tomorrow. I've been streaming Satisfactory for a good amount of time at this point. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 months? I don't know. But Factorio is obviously relatively new. Alright. What was I doing? Right, I needed more landfill. That's what I was doing, which means running all the way back up there was completely pointless. I need to run down by this stuff down here. Yeah, I know. I definitely haven't been doing enough like channel customization stuff. I need to get around to that at some point. It's just a lot more work than just like sitting down and clicking go live, you know. Alright, how do we get through all these pipes? Where is our landfill production? We might need even more. Alright, so this is going along, and apparently using all of the ore. Where are you from? I'm from America. Don't really feel like giving more specifics than that, if that's fine. Social security number. Yeah, no thanks, I'm good. Alright, so this is going along. At this point, it looks like speed modules might be the wrong call for these, because I think they're limited by resources. So let's give these guys some productivity modules instead. What's the button for this? Oh, productivity modules aren't going to work because it's a final product. I keep forgetting that that's a rule that exists. Lame. Yeah, it's the different perspectives in this game are very interesting, like how zoomed out you can get. Alright, so it seems like this starter stone patch might finally be running dry. Actually, no, we have this whole other thing here, which is going into the rail production. Yeah, especially when I'm way zoomed out, I'll like be running into a pipe, and I'll just keep running, and it's like, why is the map not moving? It's like, oh, because there's something there, and I can't move. Alright, so we need to make better use of all this stone. That uses 1.5 a second. That uses theoretically like an infinite amount per second, apparently. Alright, I think we just need to grab another stone location at some point. Where's the next nearest one? I guess down there? I don't know, that seems like a huge diversion to go on for that. And this obviously is empty because it's just instantly filling my inventory. I am back up to 24 landfill. Oh, the spent miners still pollute? I didn't know that. That is valuable information. I assumed they just sat there doing nothing. And we have a whole lot of things to get rid of them. I assumed it was just like in Satisfactory where it's just completely harmless if it's sitting there doing nothing. Alright, so this then will also all have to get out of the way. And those ones as well, I guess. Alright, I think that is mostly all of that. Okay, it looks like the copper trains are doing something funky again. Is that just them waiting for a refill? They might just not be being filled fast enough. Let's head down there and figure out what's going on. There still should be plenty of copper down there. Unless something is broken, which I hope it hasn't. Okay, no, this looks completely filled. Why are you sitting here anyways? Oh, this is backwards. Got it. That makes sense. So you need to go full cargo there. Empty cargo there. Or the station is full. Alright, let's go with that. And get rid of that. Alright, now it should definitely... Now it definitely should be going. Oh, these are both set to copper output. How did that happen? Copper input, wait until empty cargo or station is full. And then this one is the one that's supposed to be full cargo. Alright. I don't know why I had enormous trouble getting those all set up right. Google says they don't pollute while not working. Alright, that's a relief. But lasers do take energy while not working? Weird. That's weird. Why is that? Min consumption 24 kilowatts. Got it. So they take a little bit of power while just sitting there doing nothing. That's probably fine. I mean, my power grid can definitely handle it at the moment. Very easily, in fact. So not going to be too worried about that. Instead, let's just go up here and check to see if we've gotten any yellow science at all at any point. Hopefully we have. Alright, so we run up here. So we have our copper outputting again. Yeah, I do have a decent amount of solar. Oh, what's that? Is this power pole just isn't connected up to anything? That makes sense. Yeah, I have mostly solar power, so that's fine. Not a concern. Meanwhile, we're getting more landfill. And alright. Gotta go. See you next time, hopefully. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, is this going at all? It must have, because there's less copper in here now than there was last time. And there is one of the things in this. So we just need another 2, and then we'll get 1 measly yellow science. So that is going to take ages to work at that rate. Probably fine, though. Just as long as everything else is cooking along. Alright. Now let's get up. We have more landfill than we did last time, so we should hopefully be able to finally finish this giant square. So up we go, past all this stuff. And then we go up past these and back up to the giant square, which is still just 2 sides of a square. And we need to figure out where exactly to place this landfill in order to finish this off. So let's zoom out even more and copy all of that, I think. And alright, so we need to get like just a couple of spaces along there. Also, we need to make sure that this even lines up properly. So I think, is that correct? I don't know. It's difficult to tell which way it's supposed to be facing. If there's supposed to be like 1 tick of overlap on this or not. I guess we cannot build on water, so we have to actually place the landfill in. Alright, hopefully that is enough. Hold shift while pasting and it'll just put the landfill in? That's good to know. That's handy. Alright, so we get all of those. And then this can finally go in. And I guess, I don't know if it's supposed to overlap 1 or not. let's go with not. Trees in the way. Alright, let's shift click to deal with that. And now all of this can go. So there we go. Control shift click is to force build on top of existing stuff. Alright. Good to know. All sorts of little stuff like that, which I think technically I learned at one point, but I've definitely never used. Alright, so now we just gotta do one more of those. Facing this way. Okay, and it looks like one overlap is the intentional thing there. Alright, so we go with that. And it's all in. So that should work. Oh, look at that. The drones throw the explosives. That's funny. Imagine them just picking up the cliff and walking away with it, but I guess throwing the explosives makes sense too. Alright, so that. Then all of those get filled up. And I think I also need to cover that corner with power. Also, it seems like the thing that I've copied and pasting picked up some random power poles, which is not intentional. I guess it's fine. Yeah, it's these couple here. Alright, so now we just have to wait for all of this building to get done. It's funny how they'll just pick a random thing, like pass all of those, go to that one. That's the one that's most important to fill up first. Alright, one entity is missing the material for construction. Oh, I have to make some train stops, I guess. So let's get that done. And it should be all sorted now. Alright, we've made a couple of them now. That goes in. Now we just have to let these guys finish this off. Alright. Just a couple more train tracks go in. And soon we will have this whole square done. And is this symmetrical? Looks mostly symmetrical. We're not going to be able to tell until we try to paste the entire thing over. So let's just... This is barely within range of being able to see all of it. Alright, so is the drone coverage for this good? Yes, it looks like it covers the entire thing. Might technically need like one more space to the left, but that's probably fine. Alright, so then we just need to sort out all of these power poles. So that and that go away. We don't want those. And technically there's nothing wrong with having these random unnecessary power poles here. But I don't know. We'll have to figure out like where power poles are going to need to be for the blueprint once we have them. Once we have a couple of them stacking. And then I think the other thing we're going to need is get rid of all those trees because I want to make these power lines a bit more orderly going between the different drone hubs. Alright, that was almost good, but then they got nudged off center ever so slightly. Which would be fine if this were just an ordinary building, but it is in fact a blueprint. Why did I do it again? Just immediately. Alright, so then that goes in like that. And then we can take some of these ones out. Oh, I don't want to dismantle all of those cliffs until it's absolutely necessary. Don't have an infinite amount of cliff explosives. Alright, so then this goes along there. And we did dismantle one of those cliffs, but it's fine. One cliff dismantle is not the end of the world. Alright, and then we get that in. And now all the drones are powered up. Not enough logistics network storage space available. Oh, we must have filled up all those boxes. Alright, that's fine. Let's just craft up a couple more of those, I guess. And I really, at some point, need to deal with, like, getting the stuff out of these boxes and back into something useful. Alright. Congratulations, new logistics network storage. Alright. Why are you still confused? I placed down a new box for you. You can go to this box. Hello? Why are you just sitting there? Do something. Anything. Alright, I guess he's just gonna sit there uselessly. Whatever. Alright. Let's just finish off this, because it would be weird for this square of power poles to not be finished. So we're just going to finish that off, just for the sake of it being there. And is there anything else we need? Yes, there is. We need these. So this needs to go out to, like, I want to say, like, there. And then this needs to go down to the same thing. I think they need to go slightly past each other, maybe. It'll be fine because they can just overlap with the other ones from the other, facing the other side. So we have that, and we're going to need to do this at each of the corners. So, and this is because this is how you get from one, like, the external loop to the internal loop, or vice versa, as that's necessary. And then we go up here, and we do the same thing. Alright, so then this goes like that. And then we just have to get this corner. And like that. And like that. Alright, so now we have all those corners in. Now, how does that work as far as signals are concerned? Are the corners just all going to be... Yeah, that's probably fine. That's probably fine. I don't know why these guys are just sitting there being confused when there is, in fact, a free logistic storage container right here with currently nothing in it. But I guess it'll just have to figure itself out eventually. So now is the moment of truth, because I think we've done everything that is at least immediately obvious. So we click blueprint, we grab all of this, and we say this is going to be factory. Let's just call it train square. That is just simply what it is. Alright, so this lines up like this. And we just place it down like that. And then we're going to see if everything worked or not. We're missing some stuff. So let's craft up. Oh no, we should have. No, I guess we need one more of those. So let's craft that up. And then we just have to wait for the rest of this to go together. And then we get to wait for all of this stuff to get crafted. Oh, I just realized what we need to do is we do need to connect that up to power. Alright, so now that that is connected up to power, that whole thing should be within range of power lines. Is there not? Why is there not a drone port there in the bottom left corner? That is... I could have sworn there was a drone port there. Am I crazy? What happened to this? It should be right there in order to get coverage. Did I accidentally build on top of it or something? That's weird. We're gonna have to fix the blueprint for that then. All the rest of this is slowly getting put together by all the various guys coming in from across the planet. Okay, so we do have some signaling problems, it looks like. I wonder if that'll just go away as more of this construction goes in. Alright. Construction is in progress still. We are apparently missing 2 train stops, which we weren't just a moment ago, which is a bit mysterious. But I guess we can just craft them up. Oh, maybe it's because we weren't standing within drone range, so they couldn't access stuff in our inventory. Let's just craft up another one just to be sure. Okay, so that all looks like it's going. And yeah, so this... We must have accidentally overwritten the drone port with a power pole, which is annoying. We're going to have to fix that in the final blueprint. But that can go in. And soon this whole thing should be built up. And... Alright, so everything in the immediate vicinity of this is built, and yet it's still complaining. Why? Cannot divide segments. Okay, maybe it's just like It has to be there. Yeah, I guess it just got placed in a funny place. Alright, that's fine. So that is in. The rest of this stuff is still getting built. And now that we have both of these, it should be possible to get from anywhere to anywhere. So even if you're on the outside loop, then you should still be able to get to the inside. Alright, so this is all in, except apparently for that. There we go, that got placed. I guess I just had to be there manually for it. And I guess we're just going to wait for this to finish putting together, and then it is 4:51, so probably going to end the stream just about now. So that is all in. That corner is done. And we just have this little bit up here. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. I had a real good time with everyone. Make sure to follow if you haven't already. I stream Factorio on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. And I stream Satisfactory Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the same time. So if you're interested in factory building games of a variety of different types, then make sure to stop by in the future. And currently in Factorio, we are finally making progress on designing like a semi-expandable modular setup. And in Satisfactory, we are working through a massive adaptive control unit factory, which we'll be making a lot of them, and it's all load balanced, which adds to the complexity a little bit. So if you're interested in either of those games, yeah, make sure to follow and stop by tomorrow. And that is about that. Thanks everyone for hanging out.